Exclusive. From pizza man to accused party drug king. How private school boy who left his high-flying PR job to open one of Sydney's trendiest restaurants is behind bars after being accused of dealing LSD, mushrooms, cocaine, MDMA and ketamine. When I got really known in Sydney, I was making maybe 30 grand a week.
Fuck. So how'd you lose $500,000 with a pizza restaurant?
I came up with the idea of us having nutritionally approved pizzas for dogs. We had dog pizzas on the menu because...
if you hate drug dealers, which a lot of people do, I had to say, look, you're going to meet one, you're going to like him. You'd be who I'd pick. Andrew Hamilton, welcome to the pod.
Red, good to be here.
Last time I saw you was 8,000 miles away in Australia.
Yeah, we had a few beers in Sydney.
Yes. You were born and raised in Sydney?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what is your background? Why are you a white guy in Australia?
That's just what I was... There's a lot of us.
We're straight in.
Yeah. I did one of those DNA tests recently,
Yeah.
and I'm like 65% Irish
Really?
heritage.
Yeah.
And then the rest is like Scottish and Welsh and a little bit of English.
Okay.
So I'm just generic white guy.
You know what? Very big guy.
Yeah.
For listeners. How tall are you?
6'1"?
6'. Oh, you seem taller. He carries himself like a taller man. Funniest thing is, we walked in here.
Yeah.
I was looking for you, and there was a massive guy, and then he went back behind him and slapped on the back, Andrew. But he was just
another guy.
He was just an ogre.
Okay.
Who lives here.
Well, I get told that I look like the human version of Shrek.
That's mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, well, he actually was pretty good looking when he became the human version. So I don't know if
Did you get that a lot online?
Yeah.
What's the meanest comment people say about you?
Okay, so I don't know if you'll get the reference, but there was a character that was created in Australia that was supposed to survive a car crash, and it was like an alien with like no neck.
Yeah.
And they tell me it was called Graham.
Yeah.
And so there'd be a lot of comments saying that I am Graham.
Okay.
So if you can pull up an image of that, it's just like this alien creature with no neck at all.
Adam, if you could show us that, that'd be great.
Just say Graham the alien.
Do you get a lot of online abuse?
I'd say the girls on my channel get it way worse than me.
Really? So
Yeah.
what's your channel? You do a sort of, you're like the KSI of Australia.
Yeah, I guess that's we would say that we're like the Aussie version of Sidemen.
So what do? You'll eat an orange in 3 seconds.
We do like just dumb
Challenges.
comedy game shows. Don't
Okay.
laugh challenges and like, games where like we played Werewolf recently. That's the guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's mean.
Yeah, so that's me. Apparently I look like Graham.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, Graham looks like he fucks. So, speaking of which,
Go on.
Can I just say something I've already observed, difference between Australia and the UK?
Yeah.
Because I also, despite what I look like, also fuck.
Yeah.
I went to a convenience store today, and in
Thanks for telling
Australia,
us.
in Australia, if you buy condoms,
This is a
right?
wellness pod, not a filthy pod.
Well, it can be whatever you want. It's still a new pod, isn't it?
No, it's
It can-
very set in its ways.
This is brought to you by BetterHelp.
Yeah,
and
you can-
so I went to a convenience store and
To buy condoms.
To buy condoms.
Yeah.
In Australia, they're just like in the aisle. You can just like casually browse and you don't feel like there's any pressure and eventually you just pick whatever is right. But here, when I went in London, it was like behind the counter. So
Yeah.
like I had to like work with the guy.
And go, oh.
It was a bit too personal. To have to be
And
like,
ask for your flavour.
well, I felt like I was going to have to be like, which would you
Branston
recommend?
pickle.
You know,
Yeah.
what's, and I almost felt like I had to like lie to want to get extra large just to impress the guy.
You should try Scotch egg flavour. It's one of our specialities. Yeah. So why were you doing this? Who have you been having sex with then? If you want to take this into the gutter.
Just
You met someone at a gig, didn't you?
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
going to meet you, and he said he met some lady at the gig.
yeah. So I
Well, so set the scene. She came up and said, "Nice comedy set, Andrew."
yeah, that was funny jokes,
Yeah.
Andrew.
And you
Do
took
you
her
want to
for
get a drink
dinner last
sometime?
night.
Yeah, and so
And how long are you about for then?
another 2 weeks
Is this your first trip to England?
for comedy. Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't been here in like over a decade since back when I worked in public relations and I was a drug dealer.
Wait, so you worked in... This is two things going on here.
Yeah.
And we're going to get into both of them. What were you doing PR in first? Let's get the boring stuff out the way.
So I studied communications at uni. I worked in PR for over a decade. Mm-hmm. I won when I was like 27. I won there's a publication in Australia called B&T magazine, which is like marketing and public relations. And I won the B&T 30 under 30s awards when I was like 30.
Really?
No, when I was 27. And the first thing I remember when I got the award was trying to figure out what was the best flat surface to do cocaine off.
Really?
Yeah. And
So you were a drug addict You went to prison for child molestation, was it? No,
Close.
you went to jail.
Psychedelic drugs mainly.
You got
magic mushrooms.
caught selling psychedelic drugs. So
Yeah.
let's go back. You're a PR.
Yep.
That's not enough.
No.
You need your greedy mitts on more cash.
Well,
how much were you earning as a PR?
It wasn't so much about greed at the start. It was
Yeah.
about the love of drugs.
Okay. And what was your favourite?
Mushrooms.
Yeah. So how would you do them daily?
There was a time when I first started like growing them in big quantities where I was having them at least 2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'd have them like even just at home watching a movie. You know? I'd watch. There's some great movies to watch on mushrooms, like particularly visual ones like Avatar. Don't recommend watching like really scary ones like Requiem for a Dream. Don't watch that.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Or Aliens.
Yeah.
I found probably too much for mushrooms. But anything with good visuals, great. And so, yeah, I would sell the mushrooms and I would use the mushrooms myself. And I liked, because I think that they're so therapeutic for a lot of people, even when you're like using them as a party drug, you still feel pretty good after it.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
And so, yeah, I felt like I was doing a good thing in the community, and like not a lot of people in Australia can get mushrooms easily. So I felt like I was doing my good thing. And eventually I got carried away and I was selling cocaine and acid and MDMA and everything else.
That.
But, you know, there was a period
We all
where
start altruistic.
Yeah, exactly.
Live long enough to become the villain, I believe the old saying is. And
Well-
villain you were.
Well, people come by and they'd be like, "What else can you get?" And so I felt like it was my responsibility to become a one-stop shop. I did draw the line. I was like, no to GHB because I didn't want the gays overdosing. And then like it came back to
Why
me.
do you care about the gays overdosing and not the straights?
Well, it's the only people that are really taking heaps of GHB are the gays.
Yeah.
really. And so there's that. Then there was like no meth or heroin.
What is GHB? It's like speed, but makes you.
It's like liquid ecstasy. It comes in like you sell it in like little soy sauce bottles.
What's that like? G.
Yeah, that's GHB. Yeah,
Yeah,
so-
okay.
and it is good, but like it's very easy to overdose, particularly if you're a rookie. So I was like, that's just too high risk. I wanted to be on the lower risk drugs.
Yes, and you didn't sell heroin.
Didn't sell heroin.
And so how do you? Just selling mushrooms. How do you then go into coke? Because surely with coke brings different sorts of people. And different types of people you're now involved with. would you say?
I'm sure there's plenty of overlap on the Venn diagram between like a lot of these
The
party
mushroom
drugs.
addict's not going to rob you. Even if he does, he'll probably rob his own house thinking it's yours.
No, well, look, I don't think
He'll hold a gun to his own head.
most of those drugs, even if you're a fiend for them, you're not really like committing major crimes for them.
Yeah.
I think it's like meth and heroin, like for sure, the number ones. Like when I was in jail, most of the guys in jail are all in there for meth, either to feed their own addiction or they were selling it or whatever.
But then
It's $50,
Australia's a
you can
weird
afford that.
place because it doesn't have the same drug import system that other places. Like you look around, when I was there seems to be a lot of meth heads. But there's not like the same sort of like London coke scene that you'd see there because apparently everyone says it's really expensive and it's shit.
Well, I mean, there's still plenty of people in Sydney doing coke. Yeah, there's a lot of them.
But isn't it like 0.1%?
The stuff I was selling was pretty good, I would say.
Yeah.
Like, that's how you run a good drug business, is by actually selling the drug that you're purporting to sell.
Yeah.
That's what I find.
Yeah,
You know,
okay.
that's where I had principles about it, Red. Like, 'cause a lot of guys will buy...
This is getting demonetized.
Yeah. We want money. Go on, carry on.
So, you know, you buy in ounces.
Yeah.
And then a lot of guys will jump on it with, like, creatine or whatever. Flour,
Baby
whatever.
teething powder.
Exactly, something like that, just to, like, make their margins better. But I never did that because I was like...
Because you're a fucking good guy.
yeah, thank you very much. That's how I felt.
No women, no kids, no meth, no cut in the coke.
I never said anything about no women, no kids.
You didn't, and that's why you went to jail. So how long were you selling drugs for?
16 years.
16 years. You've written a book. Sorry, what's the book called again?
The Profound Benefits of a Stint in Prison.
Yeah, it's out now. You can get it on Amazon.
Yeah,
I've read it. Great book.
You can't get it. You can't buy a physical copy of the UK other than off me on tour. I had to fly over here with 2 fucking bags of it, luggage, because we got told that UK publishers didn't think that there'd be any interest in the story over here. Because jail is more terrifying and they don't like to hear turnaround stories of criminals here.
Wait, so is Aussie prison more relaxed than our prisons?
I think so.
Because you guys are all really pleasant, or you're the worst serial killer that's ever lived. Do you notice that?
Yeah.
It's either Wolf Creek or just the Foster's ad. There's no in between.
Yeah, it's true. But the thing is, even those guys who are the worst person that would kill you would probably still be really nice to you in the yard before they're going to kill you.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
like probably like, you know, made you a coffee and like just said, have a nice day.
So what's Aussie jail like? Was there was some hardcore? You got Chopper, then there's
Yeah.
then there's Neighbours.
Look, I don't know if my experience of it, because I was only in there for 4 months, and I'm like a reasonably big guy, and also I was in there for mushrooms, which everyone thought was hilarious. So I don't know if my experience matches up with a lot of different people's, but there's certainly a lot of guys I've spoken to that had similar experiences to me, where it was just like, look, if you keep your nose clean, you stay out of trouble, then you're not going to find yourself in any kind of massive issues.
Yeah.
I got treated great. I just used it as rehab. For me.
Yeah. So do you think you were an addict then? Were you sort of every day?
I was a fiend for coke. That was like I could when I couldn't afford it, and I had a little bit on weekends with mates, fine. But when I was selling it and it was in the house, it'd be like in the cupboard calling out to me. Andrew, Andrew. And I found like there wasn't an occasion that didn't feel right for cocaine. You know?
Like if funeral.
If I'm sad, numb the pain, cocaine.
Okay,
if I'm happy, celebrate with cocaine.
Yeah.
Bored? Why don't we spice things up a bit with cocaine? It's something for every occasion.
Yeah.
So then, once I started, I couldn't stop. So, like, I would sit and, like, in a week, I'd go 5 days no sleep and snort like 28. I'd snort like 28 grams, and that's why, like, my nose has like no cut. It's got. It's just a giant hole now, you know. I can touch my piggies could touch each other.
Yeah, you don't have to do it.
Yeah, you can have a go if you want.
No. Okay. And how long did that go on for? You're lucky you're not dead.
Yeah, you know, if I didn't get pinched, if I didn't get my house raided, I probably would have been very wealthy and died of a heart attack by 40. I think.
Yeah, I think so. How old are you now?
I'm 39.
Okay,
so
you
I
would have one more year.
Yeah, I would have one more year.
You'd be sat day 4.
I would have been just like fat, pasty
How
white.
How do you feel after 5 days no sleep? Sure, you start seeing things and stuff. Are you hallucinating?
Yeah, you start to become like paranoid.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You were fun about 4 days ago. You've gone from let's make a movie to I think I'm in a film. I'm in the Truman Show. I think I'm the lead part in a movie.
And the worst part was that, like, just to keep up at that point, I'd have to have increasingly bigger and bigger lines just to feel anything.
Yeah.
You know?
So bleak.
It is bleak.
Were you depressed?
Yeah. And then
I wonder why.
And then to stop me from having to think about it, what would I do? More cocaine.
More cocaine.
Yes, of course.
And with friends coming in and out. Or...
Yeah, but then what are they going to do? They're going to come over and have cocaine with me, you know? So
yeah, but
no one's saying Andrew.
Them joining day 4 must have been weird for them because they're like, well, you know, they're in a very different headspace.
I mean, it's weird until you have enough cocaine,
yeah,
right? And then you're like, okay, now I'm part of the party.
Yeah.
So,
well, they got to catch up because they probably come around. They're like, oh, you know, I fucking love you, Andrew. They do one line, like, love you, Andrew, and you're there like the Vietnamese are after me.
There's a couple of times I thought my dog was talking to me. And
yeah. What was he saying?
I think just probably suggesting that I should order McDonald's. Yeah, there was. I called it because people like say you can't get hungry on cocaine or you don't get hungry. But I found after 4 days, even still, I would still get hungry.
Yeah.
I call it nugs and drugs, and I would just have
chicken
nuggets and cocaine.
This is a wellness podcast. This is the least healthy thing I've heard. I met this. I was out in the car show with this guy the other day, and he was back from a gig. He was telling me about this guy he lived with, who would just spend 4 days doing coke, and then just in his room. It was his flatmate, and then this delivery, like Domino's, giant Domino's would arrive, and he'd sort of just hand out, take it into his room like a snake.
Yeah.
And then just probably eat half of it and then fall asleep for 3 days, eat the rest, and then carry on.
What it is, you're a cave troll. You don't want anyone in the real world to see you either.
Yeah. So the
yeah,
opposite of Gwyneth Paltrow, this lifestyle, isn't it?
I'm glad it's behind me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I've done it. Like I completed cocaine.
Yes.
And so, like,
I think you have.
Now.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So I'm like, now I'm not really tempted by it.
And so how long, you were selling cocaine for how long?
It was like the back end of it. I was selling mushrooms just on its own for like 10 years.
Yeah.
And then
have you got any tips if anyone out there is selling drugs? You got any tips for them?
Yeah, I think I differentiated myself by good customer service. I think
so quickly, I'm going to, because we've spoken about this before in Australia, but I remember you saying to me like, "Oh, it wasn't that I wasn't involved in many mean people, like mean, nasty. What am I talking about?
Organised crime figures, violent figures.
Some very mean organised crime.
There was some
guys.
mean red.
Yeah. Effing and jeffing at you. No, but in this country, I don't think you could sell coke without. Well, not maybe in some rural areas possibly, but I think in London, if you were selling large amounts of cocaine, you'd have to be protected
Violent,
or
'cause
violent
it's turf
yourself
wars and that kind of stuff.
But you're gonna have what's going to stop the 8 kids down the road who are 16 and balaclavas and knives smashing through because they'll take it. And like you're not a violent guy,
No.
so you'd be the perfect target for a home invasion.
Totally.
robbery.
But I guess for me, it was like I wasn't like putting ads out about me selling, and I wasn't like written on bathroom wall. Like,
Yeah, but all it
doors.
takes is one cousin's mate who knows a friend.
Yeah, sure. But I also made sure a lot of the time I wouldn't have too much cash or drugs at the house. I had a second.
Yeah.
I had a second house.
But what's them stopping? That's precaution for when they come. What's stopping them coming? I don't know. Is Australia that? It seems a bit different than here. Because you still
Yeah.
do. Like it was in Melbourne, once every decade, someone gets shot. Is that right?
A lot of people were surprised, even in Australia, that like I never had any kind of issues at all. But I think because it was just I had this network of people, and everyone had to be vouched for, and I don't think anyone wanted to fuck it up because they liked the service and they liked the quality of the gear.
Yeah.
That like no one brought it down.
Yeah,
until
yeah.
my fiance dobbed me into the cops. But
Yeah, so let's get to this. 'Cause this is a big one. You got grassed up by your own. You
she
engaged,
did-
you married.
She didn't mean to. I think she'd had psychosis on cocaine.
Oh, really? Didn't see this coming.
Yeah. It happens at about day 3 or 4, Red. In between. I've been there.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, were you blending with the psychedelics at the same time?
Sometimes I would mix the cocaine and the MDMA and the ketamine, but not so much the mushrooms. I love the mushrooms to really let them have their to let them run their course. You got to focus on the mushroom. So you want to be in a good mental state, had plenty of sleep before you have a mushroom. That's why, like, whenever people would buy like all the different drugs off me to go to a festival, I would always say to them, have the mushrooms early on.
Yeah.
Not on day 3 when you've already had a million drugs because you'll barely feel the mushrooms.
Oh, so you give out advice as well?
Yep.
So you were like sort of a community leader in a way.
I wanted people to have a great time on the drugs so that they would
Yeah.
come back, right? Repeat business. No one wants to fuck someone up so bad that they have a shit time on drugs.
Yeah, you're probably the most palatable drug dealer. You know, if you hate drug dealers, which a lot of people do,
Yeah.
I had to say, look, you're going to meet one, you're going to like him. You'd be who I'd pick. I
Thank
think.
you. That
yeah.
means, thank you, man. That's
And the
not one of
bar
nicest
is
things.
very low.
Well, because I used to sell it out of my house, right?
Yeah.
And people would come over and I'd make them feel so comfortable,
Yeah.
they wouldn't want to leave. They want to hang out and play pool and like sit there and do drugs for ages.
Oh,
So,
really? And you're
yeah.
fine with that?
I was fine with that. Like,
Did
it
you
was
get
kind of a
bored of
fun house.
people just talking shit to you all the time? And
I mean, I
because you were
think-
living the afters constantly.
I think I probably did over 50,000 drug deals in the time that I did it. And that means I've had to have small talk about what someone's up to for their weekend about 50,000 times.
Yeah.
And I don't miss that at all. I don't
Okay.
miss pretending to be interested in what someone's up to.
And were you making these guys laugh? Because Andrew is now a very successful comedian.
I was on so much coke. I can't imagine I was being particularly funny. Maybe.
yeah.
No,
No one was like, a gram and a laugh I get with you. Thank you, Andrew.
I think it was more the comfort thing than making people laugh.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of people that said that they're not used to feeling so comfortable buying drugs. There was sometimes, I remember there was one time this middle-aged woman came over to buy drugs and she was shaking.
Yeah.
And she said she'd been sent there by her friend and it was her first time buying drugs and she was so nervous.
Yeah.
And I was like,
because you thought you were going to be like sharpening a knife with a snake around your
And
neck.
I was like, just relax, you're doing great. Just you tell me what you want, you give me the money, and I'll give you whatever you want.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, yeah, I just had to like walk her through
You're
it.
doing great. Relax. You're like a fucking PT, but for drugs. breathe. Yeah, no, that's you paint a good picture. Do you ever run into ex-customers? Like, do they come to shows?
I've had a few people, when I first started doing stand-up, comedy clubs would like share a video of me, and they would get DMs from people going, yo, that used to be my dealer.
That's so funny. And so you're doing this. This is you're probably, how much money are we making a week?
When I was dealing,
Yeah.
like, look, for a long time, it was just like paying the bills, maybe covering my rent. But by about 10 years in, when I got really known in Sydney as like the mushroom guy, and it kind of blew up.
Yeah.
I was making probably from like all the drugs combined, maybe on an off week, maybe 30 grand a week.
Fuck.
And then like towards Christmas, maybe 70, 80.
All cash.
All cash. No,
Is that weird?
Tax free as well.
Is it? Yeah, of course it's tax free. Is it weird? Is it weird being high on coke and having buckets full of cash that you can't really? It's not really yours, if you know what I mean. You can't buy a house with it unless you launder it. Did you try and launder it?
Well, I opened a restaurant. I opened a restaurant in the Cross, so that I lost about $500,000 on that.
Why? How?
So, like, that was my vision was I was going to open up 10 pizza restaurants, clean the money through that, and then I was going to retire.
Oh,
now I think
the age old. Yes.
I think realistically, knowing myself, I would have got to 10 and said, "Okay, let's make it 20, and then we'll call it." You know, I would have
Yeah, of
always
course. It's never
stretched
enough.
the goal.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'd opened the first
There's
one.
been about 1 million movies with the same plot as what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm a cliche.
Yeah.
I know that. You do hear every now and then. I would hear like a story, like almost a mythical story of a guy who like got into drugs, did like and was like a one and done. Like
Yeah.
he like
Is that real?
He like flew in from LA with like 3 kilos of cocaine strapped to him. He like got paid like, you know, 100 grand, 200 grand, used it as a deposit for a house, and then like
They
never
robbed
again.
the bank, and he's about to get on the last plane out of there, but then he can't miss his daughter's recital at school, so he tries to watch that and gets arrested.
I do like to believe there's a couple of guys that have done that.
That's happened, yeah.
Yeah, but most of us are too greedy, and you think the sky's never going to fall.
Well,
and so-
I watch a lot of organised crime docs and podcasts because it's just sort of fascinating. Because it's a really sort of comforting genre of reality where it's like, these guys, no one fucks with them. They get too big, they get locked up. Then there's the next guy.
Yeah.
It's the same every time. And all the narration in all those docs, there'll be one guy who's become a snitch now and now has a podcast. And it'll be like, they'll have like a video of New York in the 80s. Who's like, we had more money than we can spend. We had girls coming in. Yeah, fucking every time. And then we fucked it all. It's like every Scorsese movie, but that's these guys.
Yeah, and that's my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how'd you lose $500,000 with a pizza restaurant?
Well, I think...
How can you... Pizza's surely not that expensive or risky.
I guess it was a large site, and I think I opened it like during COVID. So
Oh, nice.
yeah,
Fucking hell.
Yeah, I was an idiot. And so
Why did you open a restaurant during COVID?
because I was so high on cocaine all the time, and you know,
This is everyone's locked down. You're snorting lines. I was going to leave the house. You're like, you know what we should do? Let's make a restaurant where you eat with your hands.
I didn't think of it like that, but no. So there were a couple of parts to it. Firstly, you know, when you're high on cocaine, you always have good business ideas.
Yeah.
But then I was ordering so much Uber Eats, and I couldn't find a good gourmet thin and crispy pizza. And
You
so,
had too much money at time.
so I was like, you know what? That's it. I'm doing it
This is
myself.
like Richie Rich or something.
I'm doing it myself. So I came up with the idea of us having gourmet thin and crispy pizzas. We called the place Brooklyn Crispy. We had like a meat smoker on top of the oven, and we smoked all our meats. And I came up with the
I would
idea.
pay for video footage of you discussing this idea. Day 4 of the Bender. Brooklyn Crispy.
You're not supposed to follow through with these ideas.
To be fair to you, and it's actually to your credit, is you're the only person I've met who's actually done. You started a
Big
restaurant
coked up idea.
off a coke bender. No, I don't think anyone's ever done that ever. I don't think anyone's ever gone for the coffee they said they were going to go for the next day.
Because you sober up, you wake up, and you're like, oh, that was a dumb idea. But if you never stop doing cocaine,
That's the thing with Brooklyn Crispy. It's never a bad idea.
if you just continue the bender long enough, then
Yeah.
you'll follow through with it.
Yeah.
So that was, I guess, what happened. And I came up with the idea of us having nutritionally approved pizzas for dogs. We had dog pizzas on the menu because I don't know if you guys have in London that we have in Australia these cappuccinos for dogs. They're called puppuccinos.
No.
You don't have those? Okay, there you go.
Really?
There we go. They're a big thing now, Red. So I was like, we had 2 dogs, and so my fiance would buy them puppuccinos. And
Yeah.
so when I was opening this restaurant, I'm like, what can we do for dogs? Dog pizzas. And so we had...
This is fucking amazing. This is one of the best. What could we... Dog pizzas.
And so,
This is such a dragon's den. You would have gone viral for pitching this idea.
so we got like in like News Limited, like there was like a story in the Daily Telegraph, and the headline said, "Canoodle with your poodle
Yeah.
as you woof down a pie." And it
Yeah.
was like photos of these dogs all dressed up with their napkins eating the dog pizzas. And so it turned out to be such an Instagrammable idea.
Yeah.
And so all the gays of King's Cross, where the pizza restaurant was, they have dogs instead of kids. So they'd come and they'd spend like $40 on the human menu and $100 on the dog pizza menu.
Yeah.
Because they were buying dog pizzas. And then we had bone broth that we
Yeah.
called Puppy Vino. And so it was a great little racket. Unfortunately, I went to jail for drugs and the whole thing kind of imploded.
Yeah, and just, did you still was Brooklyn Crispy still going when did jail take it out?
No, it went under, I guess, because it was just struggling with business and like rent's so expensive and
Yeah.
cost of
and
cost
no one
of
could leave
stuff.
the house.
Well, that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think, look, having run a restaurant now, I think that most people that are running a restaurant have to be somehow involved in organised crime because it's
Yeah.
just, unless, how do you make money out of it? Because I think you need to run at a loss for like a couple of years
Yeah.
for it to get big enough and well known enough to be full every night just to pay. Because if you have a rainy weekend and no one comes, your whole week's fucked.
Yeah, yeah.
You know? So, yeah.
and people cancel.
Exactly. So I
Grandma's
think
birthday.
that if I was going to ever open a restaurant again, I'd have to have so much money that it was like a vanity thing. It was like I did it because I
Yeah.
wanted to do it
And
for fun.
what have you learned from Brooklyn Crispies then? What would you change this time?
Yeah, I think a smaller site because it was also I don't think I'd have to I wouldn't be able to do a pizza bar.
And where did the
again.
dogs eat? You just throw the food on the floor.
No, we had like small pizza boxes for the dogs.
Yeah.
And they would just eat it off the floor. Yeah.
And so you're eating, your dog's eating on the floor.
It looks better visually than what it sounds, but I don't think I would be allowed to have another liquor license because of my criminal record now.
Yeah, was it hard getting over here?
No, actually, because I just applied for the visa and was transparent about the fact that I went for jail for drugs. But the threshold before you have to have like an actual human person look at your application is if you've done over 12 months in jail. And so because I did 4, it was like automatically approved. But then when I got through the border, which was like very quickly, then I went through customs with like 3 luggage bags. And they're like, do you have anything to declare? And I said no. And they let me straight through. And I was like, I've admitted that I'm a convicted drug dealer. I feel like you should have maybe wanted to check my bags.
Yeah.
Just for a quick look.
Australia's weird because when I went over there, you guys are so, no one checks for knives or anything. God forbid I bring a fucking apple in.
Yeah, our biosecurity is hectic.
Well, like New Zealand was insane. They had a sniffer dog for fruit.
Yep. I remember going to where was it? Western Australia, to Perth. And I one time had about 7 grams of cocaine in my ass cheeks, and because I'd heard that the
And a
quality.
satsuma in your pocket. You probably
was-
had it the wrong way. You should put the satsuma up your ass and then add the coke in your pocket. That's how I felt in New Zealand. But New Zealand would be fucked. They couldn't start a war with anyone because all you have to do is fly a plane over and throw a pineapple out the window, and the whole country's done.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I was just wondering that 4 months for drugs, that seems short. Well, over here,
Oh, he thinks Andrew should have spent more time in the slammer.
What are you insinuating?
No, I'm just wondering, are they quite lenient? Is it more just like a slap on the wrist?
So I was in there for 4 months in maximum security in remand, which is like unsentenced prison. Then I got bail, and then I was under house arrest for about 8 months.
Oh, what
Before
were
I got-
you like under house arrest? I can imagine.
Well, I was living with my parents.
Oh, okay.
And so that's how I got into comedy because I wasn't allowed to leave the house unless I was in the company of my mum and dad.
Yeah.
And so when I first started going to open mics, I had to bring my mum along to the shows.
Okay. That's so funny. And she a fan of your stuff?
I think she liked
Can
that
you-
I was trying to do something other
Something
than drug
else.
dealing. Yeah.
It must be weird because how old are you at this point?
36.
So you're 36 and it's like, how's Andrew? Oh, he's under house arrest, but it's all right. He's decided he's going to just start open mic comedy.
He's given up on the drug dealing, which is I'm very supportive of, and he's getting into comedy.
Both career paths are most parents' nightmares. You know what I mean?
I think it's only because the option, the
Was so
previous
bad.
was so low that
Did they know you were selling drugs before? Or was it a surprise?
I think it was a total surprise. I think
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think so. If they thought so, they never asked directly.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but the fact that I didn't go to jail for longer was for a variety of reasons. One was that when I got sentenced, the judge liked that I was doing comedy. He thought that was a great sign of rehabilitation.
Yeah, and I suppose it is. It's like
It was like a novelty thing that he'd never heard of before.
Yeah.
I had a day job. They blamed ADHD. Means apparently I'm a victim of my own drug dealing and addiction.
That is so good. ADHD. You can get away.
Yeah.
Do you think at the end of the Netanyahu is going to say he had ADHD? I think.
Oh, that's all right then. That explains a lot.
Yeah. I have OCD.
So what else? Then, okay, so my crimes, so because there was such a backlog of cases because of COVID, they were letting people plead out to things to just process through a whole bunch of things through the courts, right?
Yeah.
So I got done for large commercial supply of mushrooms and LSD, supply of MDMA, supply of ketamine, supply of cocaine.
So you had, how much coke did you have when they graduated?
Like half an ounce, like
Okay.
12, 14 grams.
And that was probably lucky for you. You could have had a lot more.
You could have had a lot more. And same with the ketamine. I had about 12 or 14 grams. And then I think I had about 30 grams of MDMA. But the prosecutors agreed that if I pled guilty to the first two, because they were my two biggest charges, that I could plead down the other ones to personal use. And
Jesus.
and ironically, like
It seems
14
so
grams.
soft.
14 grams was within the realms of like my personal use anyway. So, because of that, they really focused on the first two, but they were also the least bad in terms of the eyes of the law. So even though like they're Class A drugs, well they were at the time mushrooms and LSD, in terms of impact on community, ice, heroin, way worse, right? So we were able to we couldn't be like, hey, these drugs aren't that bad as an argument, but we could just say just think about the context a bit more, and also the street value of half a kilo of mushrooms is a lot worse. Is a lot less than half a kilo of cocaine.
Okay.
And so I ended up getting sentenced to something called an intensive corrections order, which meant I essentially did a prison sentence in the community for 2.5 years, which just meant I couldn't travel without permission. So that's why I wasn't allowed to come to the UK anyway legally for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was.
And so what happened? When did you get busted? What was the year?
It was the 4th of July. Was it 4th of June 2021? Yeah. So I was at home. It was middle of the day on a Friday, and then
and you slept.
I hadn't slept in 3 days.
Oh my
I was
God.
mid coke bender, and then I just heard this loud crack noise in the front door.
What did you think? This is.
I thought a junkie had fallen into the door. It was just walking past or something, and then I heard police search warrant, and I suddenly it didn't feel real. And then they started hitting the door with a battering ram, and the whole house was shaking as if it was going to collapse.
Yeah.
And so I just grabbed whatever drugs I could and ran upstairs and started flushing them down the toilet. And that was one of the first jokes I ever wrote, was about the time it takes for the big flush on your toilet to recharge will never seem longer.
Oh, that's really funny.
Than when the cops are raiding your house,
Yeah. How much you managed to get rid of?
Fucked if I know, not enough.
Yeah.
You know?
Did you try and throw any out the...
Oh, well, because I was selling magic mushroom caps, right? We sold them in 1 gram gelatin capsules. So I remember just hitting the flush, and they were just sitting there floating in the bowl. And I'm like, oh my God. In my head, I always thought that I was going to be so smart. If the cops were raiding my house, I could make everything disappear in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
But when it actually happens, you're not ready.
Yeah.
And also, whenever you see, what I've also learned, in the movies, you hear the sirens, they're coming for you. The day they come for you, it's dead silent. There's no noise.
Of course, because they give you more time to...
Yeah, but in your head, you see movies, you think, okay.
And were they armed?
Yeah.
So did they take you down?
I was
Or were you
they took me down
hands
because
up?
I flushed the drugs down the toilet. Then I heard them coming up the stairs with their guns, and they had balaclavas on and their shields.
They never would have taken me alive, you know that.
They would have got you very quickly, mate.
8 of them dead.
So
2 guns like this, crossing over. Yeah. Well, you were like, sorry.
I hid behind the bedroom door.
Thinking that they would just go, oh, he's not
He's not here.
And you're massive as well.
I know. Can you imagine you or I hiding behind a door?
I might get away with it. You can flush me down the toilet like a giant turd.
So the door was ajar. And so like they came in and then they had a look behind the door and they saw me and they just fucking collared me down to the ground. And that's when one of them like pinned his knee into like my back of my leg and had his hand on my neck. And that's when he whispered, like,
don't come.
I didn't know you worked for the organised crime squad.
No, I do.
So I've had a few people that are cops say to me that they don't believe this has happened, but it 100% happened. I think what happens is these guys, because they're normally raiding the houses of like biker gangs or like organised crime figures that have weapons, and so they're like so pumped up on Red Bull or whatever the heck they have and adrenaline, thinking that they're catching the bad guy, that they're getting some fat mushroom dealer with no drug, with no weapons.
Yeah.
They're like still got that mentality that they've got to catch the bad guy. So they tackle me, they pin me down, and then he whispered in my ear, "Stay down, you fat cunt. You've got a tiny cock." That was exactly what he said.
So he's gone for double body shaming.
Yeah.
Why did he say he got tiny cock?
I don't know, and I had pants on. So that
Is that a him thing? Is he projecting, do you reckon?
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, that was one of the... That was another one of the first jokes I wrote when I was in jail was that's how I knew they must have had me under surveillance, right?
They said that to Bin Laden. Yeah, go on, what were you saying? That's how I knew I
had me under surveillance because how else would they know about a cock? And so
what, you this was your ex had I remember you telling me she had a breakdown.
Yeah,
and it was found in a park and said my boyfriend's a dealer.
She had like 30 grand of my cash on her and some drugs.
Where was she going with that?
I think she just ran off to, I don't know, but she got picked up hysterical and then the cops checked her bag.
Were you not like, oh, my girlfriend's got me 30 grand of my cash?
No, because I'd been in the rugby. I was at like a Wallabies All Blacks game.
You're having the time of your fucking life, it sounds like. Yeah,
I was having a good day. And then I got home and then, it all kind of fell apart. But yeah, so I didn't blame her because I knew that like she didn't mean to do it.
No.
And so...
And what was she just having? And she was like, he's... And was she like, sorry about that?
Yeah, she was very apologetic. And then I think she stopped drinking and doing drugs after that.
And she's still clean?
Well, I haven't spoken to her in a few years now, I assume so.
Must be, yeah.
Yeah, but she bailed on me as soon as I got arrested anyway.
Yeah. And what happened with the 30 grand cash police ticket?
So they took it, but then I had enough... because I had a gambling addiction. So I was able to get enough pubs in the area to like give me like their records of payouts that they had.
Yeah.
They were able to prove that it was legal like, money.
Yeah,
so the cops eventually gave me the money back.
Oh, really? Nice. So you came out to some cash.
Yeah.
Did you ever go on holiday or anything? Like, what do you? It just sounds like you could. Did you go to like? Oh, let's go to Thailand.
Yeah, I
for 6
took a few
weeks?
mates to Miami for the Super Bowl one time.
Oh, that must have been fun.
Yeah, that was sick. But most of the time it was just like gambling, snorting about 10 grand of coke a week, and then like just going to restaurants and just buying like dumb shit. You know, like going there pretending I knew about bottles of Burgundy, and I was such a wanker. Like I'd pick the most expensive bottle on the list, like $3 grand or something.
Yeah,
and then they'd have like the sommelier come out and be like, "Mr. Hamilton, there's actually a bottle that's not even on the list that we've just gotten in. It's a secret. Would you like to buy that? It's $4,000." I'd be like, "Go ahead."
Yeah.
So I was just like, "What? Buying bottles of Cristal? It was like because money didn't mean anything.
No,
you know?
Because it's not really even yours, as we were saying. But
Yeah,
it's like
I think that even though I'm like a poor comedian. It doesn't bother me because when I had money, I didn't really do anything clever with it anyway. So like,
yeah.
Could I just ask a psychedelic related question?
Yeah, go on.
What's your take on psychedelics for mental health? You know, this is a health podcast.
He doesn't give a fuck.
I do absolutely. So I would have. So firstly, in the UK, mushrooms are still a Class A drug, so it's considered the same.
Really? I thought it was B. Is it Class A?
No, it's Class A. I looked it up. So
Okay.
it's the same as like heroin, meth. It's crazy. In Australia, they've now legalized magic mushrooms and MDMA for medicinal use. It's got to be. There's only There aren't many people who can get it yet because it's only like a handful of doctors, I believe, that can prescribe it. But like the steps are there, and the fact that like we're one of the first countries to even do that is pretty cool. So yeah, I definitely think that more research into psychedelics and their effect on people's mental health is a good thing. Because there's a lot of people that would buy mushrooms off me to microdose, just for things during the day that help them to concentrate and feel chill. There was a British soldier that used to buy MDMA off me because he found that was the only thing that helped him with psychotherapy. So what he would do is he would book in his Zoom therapy session, and at the start of it, he would take MDMA, and then he would talk about these traumatic experiences. And if he was feeling buzzed out on MDMA and feeling good, while talking about something traumatic, it helped him to link a traumatic thought with a positive physiological feeling.
Yeah, they've started doing that. Because
So-
it's talking therapy as well, isn't it?
Yeah, so I think that like all those things are awesome, and so hopefully, look, when I was in jail at Long Bay, we'd sit in the yard and a whole bunch of convicted drug dealers or arrested drug dealers, laughing about the fact that we are basically like the same as like the Prohibition era in the 1920s. That we're just like we've broken the laws of the day, and that like in many years from now, none of us are going to be considered that evil, right? And so,
Whatever you want to tell yourselves to make the days easier.
I don't think drugs are that fucked. I think if you're
No, I see your point.
if you're making the
The
decision,
difference is what it the fact that there's people being slaughtered by the village load in Mexico, and you know what I mean.
sure, that's fucked. But like, if I could buy like ethically sourced Fair Trade Alliance cocaine,
Yeah.
that like didn't have any blood on its hand, I would have bought that, and it
Yeah,
would have
yeah,
sold
of
well
course,
in
of course.
Bondi.
Yeah,
I would have
yeah,
sold
yeah.
it for an extra $100 a gram.
Yeah. And so, were you like? Did you have like a good beach life? There seems to be a lot of indoor stuff
I
going on.
was a nocturnal creature, Red. I was just sitting in the dark like a vampire. Whenever anyone opened the blinds, I'd be like,
Really?
Yeah.
And you didn't like go, let's go to the outback.
no. I've travelled more of Australia in the last year from stand up than I
Really?
ever travelled before that. Yeah.
What's it like in those? I've seen that Last Train Larimer. Have you watched that?
No, what's that?
It's a documentary about a little village in the middle of nowhere in Australia. And it's just like 9 people there, and they all hate each other, but they all have to drink at the local pub.
Yeah, I've been to a fair
Is
few.
it? Yeah.
I've been to a fair few regional shitholes. There was one I went to on the way in like mid-north Queensland called, I think, St. Lawrence, and I went to this local pub, and we went in there for a feed for lunchtime, and they were like, "No, you idiot!" Did you not call it that here?
No, I've seen it in your Croc documentaries. He's having a feed.
The people have a feed too.
Yeah.
It's feeding
Like
time.
animals.
Yeah, it's feeding
Yeah.
time. So
Yeah.
we went to this pub for a feed, and I was like, "Oh, can we have lunch?" And they're like, "No, you idiot! It's Thursday. The kitchen's only open Friday and Saturday." And so
Really?
there was no beer taps. It was just an esky with a bunch of beer cans, and it was cash only. And they told me that the local police officer is banned from the pub because he got drunk and drove into it one day.
Really? That's so funny. That's the most. When I was out in New Zealand, I did that club in Auckland. What was it? I can't remember what it's called.
The classic?
The Classic. I didn't do it. I was just there after my show. But there was this guy telling me about how he does these regional gigs, and there's they go. It's like middle of nowhere in New Zealand, and there's this pub where they all go and drink, and you do the gig there. And he says about 11 o'clock, someone goes and drives to the local policeman's house and checks if he's in bed, and then comes back and goes, "Yeah, the cunt's asleep," and then everyone goes and drives home.
Great.
Yes, you can just go and check on the local cop, and he can see if his light's off and his car's in the drive.
See, that's one of the attractive things about regional towns.
Yeah,
to
yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah.
But then you...
It seems everyone sort of looks out for each other. in a
Sure,
way.
but like if you were to spend yourself more than like a week there, you'd be like, I want to kill myself. Get me
Yeah,
out
yeah,
of
of course. And there's a lot of that in Australia. Like, what's your population? 23 million or something?
Yeah, maybe a bit more, maybe 26.
And
I
it's
think.
bigger than Europe. It's huge.
Yeah.
And London's 9, so we've got half your population in the,
So like when I'm doing regional touring, like when I just did Western Australia, each day of the tour, I'd have to hit the road for like 4 or 5 hours to drive just to the next town that would have enough people for me to do a show to maybe 150 people.
Really? And
Yeah.
what's in between that? Just desert.
Yeah. Just long roads of nothing.
I find your
Rolling
kangaroos
hills.
quite creepy. No one mentions that until you get there.
Yeah, you have a thing about Australian animals, don't you?
I do, yeah.
You don't trust them.
I don't trust them fucking at all. What about the
They're fine
saltwater
enough.
crocs? Do you see them a lot?
No, there was only when I was in Broome, which is like up near Darwin. I went to the Crocktail Park
Yeah.
and they have like 1,000 crocs there, and they really put on a show. But,
No, really.
But just like in day-to-day life, I'm not seeing many of anything other than
No,
like a
well,
huntsman
Sydney's
spider.
there's not much there, is there?
No.
Like, would you get spiders?
Yeah.
You
but
got
even-
the sharks. I went out on your harbour.
Yeah.
Not up for that. We were walking. Me and him were walking along at night, along the harbour. It was a nice evening, wasn't it?
Yeah, but you weren't spotting any sharks there.
You said, "Oh, a diver got ripped to shreds by a bull shark."
that
under
was, that was
bridge."
like a famous story from like 20 years ago.
So what?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It happened. That's if we had like
was
werewolves
an
in
Eng-
London, we'd kill them.
There was a English bloke, I forget, in the eastern suburbs, who went for a swim. It was like early afternoon, right in through a school of fish, and a great white came up and bit him in half, and that was only like 5.
Yeah, English guy.
Yeah.
Simon Nellis. Say his name.
Okay, Simon Mellis.
Nellis. Yeah, he got done by a great white breached him. There's a
Yeah.
video. So when I was out in Australia, the guy I was doing the tour with, he showed me a video of it because there was one that was on the news,
Yep.
and then there's another one.
There was like there was so much blood.
Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah.
But I didn't even want to watch it. You know, nowadays someone just shows you, like the Charlie Kirk shooting. I was at a gig. I was literally about to go on, and someone went, "Look at this." I was like, "Fucking hell."
Yeah, I find sometimes I've like looked up those things out of morbid curiosity, and then as soon as I've looked at it, I regret it.
Yeah, it's horrible.
I looked up like footage for like the MH17 plane that like shot down over like Russia and Ukraine,
Yeah,
and I was
fuck's
like
sake.
looking at melted faces, being like, "Oh my god, this was a mistake."
Yeah, why do you do that?
Yeah.
Day 4.
Day 4 of a
Day
coke
4
bender.
vibe. Andrew, what are you doing? I'm,
What else
I'm
can
watching
I-
plane crashes
what
and
else
doing
can I wank
cocaine
to?
by myself. Yeah, unbelievable. What's your morning routine, Andrew? How'd you become you?
Oh god, I wish I had a good answer for this.
Different every day.
Yeah.
What time do you wake up?
Oh, like most of the time, like 8.
That's really good because
8:30.
as a drug dealer, ex-drug dealer, now comedian, two of the laziest types of people in the world.
Absolutely.
Like comedians who work 20 minutes a night and bitch about it. Dealers who have to walk down the road for $300, turn up 40 minutes late and be like, "Fucking stop stressing me
Yeah,
out."
but you forget, Red, I'm also a YouTuber.
You're,
You know?
oh yeah.
I'm also a YouTuber.
So you're active on YouTube.
So I'm doing that. So yeah, on Sundays we put our new episodes out at like 11:30 at night, Sydney time, and then I have to stay up and like respond to comments
Yeah.
for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
So that's every Sunday night, and so
Why do you have to respond to them?
just so the community knows we care. You
Okay.
know, so that we're part of it. So, we'll get thousands and thousands of comments, and then
Yeah.
I just mostly I just like them mostly.
And how
But
often are you filming for YouTube? Every day?
we put a new episode out every Sunday, but we film in blocks.
Because you've only been doing stand-up, what?
3.5 years.
And you're doing hours, killing it.
Well,
You're here on tour.
Wouldn't say I'm killing it, but it's going all right.
You're selling a lot of tickets in Australia and here.
Yeah,
Leicester Square Theatre.
going okay. It's
Nice.
been So I did stand up at the Melbourne Comedy Festival when I've been doing stand up.
That's where we met.
Yes, in my first year. So I've been doing stand up for a year, and I went to Melbourne Comedy Festival, and I did my first hour show there, and I got nominated for Best Newcomer at the festival, and out of that was how everything kind of kicked off. I got a big deal and an agent and stuff like that.
It's weird. It's hard for us Aussie comedians because of there's so few people, the population and the size. You
Shit
can't-
population, and everything's so spread out that like it's very hard to. And we don't have many clubs, and
No.
even the clubs don't pay you well.
No. What's your favourite inspirational quote, Andrew?
I think if I was going to give a real answer, it'd probably just be like, if you always do what you've always done, you're always going to get what you've always got. And like,
That's
for
great.
me,
It's like a Spice Girls song.
so for me, like starting comedy, because like I decided I was going to do stand up when I was in jail. And
Yes.
I was like, just like my life is fucked. It's in the toilet. I was in the Daily Mail as being like a party drug king.
Yeah.
Right. And so I was like, the whole thing's in the toilet. I was like, I've got to start over. What the
Yeah.
fuck am I going to do? And for some reason, the only answer in my head was stand up comedy. And so
Amazing.
I was just like, this is crazy. It's so crazy. It's going to work.
It's a fucking good story though. There's a film in this at some point.
Yeah, that would be cool, but it's still very surreal to me that I wrote a book. It's people always ask me, they're like, "Who'd you get to ghostwrite the book?" No one can believe that I actually,
Yeah.
wrote a
they've
book.
they've made the film about John Bishop. Are you aware of this?
yeah. Is this thing on or something like that?
Is this
I
thing
believe
on?
it's- Yeah.
It's about him and his wife splitting up and him starting stand up and then them getting back together.
Yeah,
Coke bender of 10 years, drug dealer becomes stand up is a bit more fun, I think.
I think so. Exclusive. From pizza man to accused party drug king. How private school boy who left his high-flying PR job to open one of Sydney's trendiest restaurants is behind bars after being accused of dealing LSD, mushrooms, cocaine, MDMA and ketamine. Bit wordy as a headline.
Yeah, it is.
But
private school kid, they added that bit.
yeah,
because
he
could have done something else. That's
for the
what they're
Daily
doing now.
Mail, that's like their perfect story. It's a private school boy.
Dog food restaurant.
It's dog food restaurant. It's drug dealing, and it's a trendy restaurant. I
Yeah.
mean, what more do you want?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's why I was a bit upset, because I'm used to being like I guess a small fish in a small pond, where like I travel Australia or New Zealand, and like journalists want to interview me about my tour. Come to the UK, no one gives a fuck. No one wants to. I mean, obviously, I'm on your podcast, Fred, but
I'm the Joe Rogan of the UK. I can
and
turn
I'm very happy
election.
I'm very happy to
I
be
can
here.
sway an election if I wanted to.
I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah.
But like, none of the traditional press could give a fuck.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
When I
that's
thought-
weird, but then we don't really have press here anymore. They don't do anything. No one
Yeah.
gives a fuck.
Okay, there's another Daily Mail article here. Pizza shop owner who sold magic mushrooms, ecstasy and LSD now posts brutally honest reviews of his 250 prison meals on TikTok.
Yeah.
Oh.
In a dark situation, I was like, the only thing I got left is my sense of humour. And so I thought I'd make myself laugh by reviewing prison food.
Yeah.
And so I'd be there reviewing the frittata, saying needs salts. This wasn't made.
Yeah.
It wasn't made with love today.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that was like my way of entertaining myself. And then I'd sit there arguing with my cellmate, saying like, "Oh, I thought that the sandwich today was a 4.8," and they'd be like, "That was way too high. You fuckhead. What are you talking about?"
Really? Yeah.
So that
This is. And did you share a cell with someone?
most of the time I did.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's like you just get used to
Yeah.
living with someone else. It's obviously a lot of politics go into hopefully enjoying the same TV programs. There was a couple
Yeah.
of guys that I had one guy who insisted on watching Home and Away every night.
Okay. And
And-
did you just go take a shit? Like you just get off the bunk?
What do you
and
mean take a shit? I mean, it's like the cell is like this big. What am I going to? I can't go very far.
Just,
So
you just have
if
to
I was
sit there.
if I was shitting there, I'd be shitting in front of him. There's no door, just like a.
So would you go? Was there another toilet you could use?
No, I mean no.
So you just have to lie there while he's taking a dump.
So there's a few ways it works. When I was in quarantine, you're stuck in a cell together. So then you have to be like, "Sorry, mate, I have to take a shit," and then you would just roll over and just like stare out the window.
that must be so it's so depressing.
But then,
really questioning your life choices. Yeah.
but then, when I was in the main yard, then you would just when you have like hours out of your cell,
Yeah.
you would just like go in then to your cell and take a
Okay.
shit.
Take a shit in the
And
yard.
you just
Yard.
and you would just like put a towel over the door to signify that you were in there, just so that you'd have some privacy.
Okay. Yeah.
But then, yeah, and some of the showers at like Parkley, the showers were in your cells, but then at Long Bay they were in the yard, so you'd have to have that out in the yard during the day.
Yeah.
But all the Middle Eastern guys are quite funny about their privacy, so they would go in the morning and tie up sheets across the whole shower line so that people could shower with privacy.
Is bumming a thing in Aussie prison? I don't. Is it?
I think in
Because here, I think it's kind of a myth.
I think in probably,
American jail. Oh, apparently not good.
I didn't see it or hear about it. I think that a lot of guys in main yards in Australian prisons are quite homophobic. So, like, to
yeah,
try to
okay.
bum people would be considered,
Yeah.
you're gay.
Yeah,
bashing.
yeah. Because
But
it probably is a gay thing to do, isn't it?
well, not always.
No.
Maybe you're just bored in jail.
Dominance.
So, yeah.
You know what I do if I went to jail especially in America? I would. I've got a lot of bars of soap at home, so I'd take them all to jail. So
You just be deliberately dropping them all the time.
Well, I'd say to the judge, right, I'll go to prison. You can have that one, but here's the compromise: I'm taking all my soap.
It's going to be sponsored by Dr.
Dr. Squatch soap. So I had to deal with them. It's now over, but I still have a lot of soap. Anyway, I walk into the shower and I literally pour 3 cartons of soap onto the floor, and I go, "Who's first?" And I think they go, "Oh, we're not." No one wants to bum a man who wants to be bummed in prison.
I reckon you could find someone that does want to bum the guy.
Maybe, and I'd really backfire. I just get bummed to death. Maybe I won't do that.
So there was a guy who I was mates with in the yard. So like Sometimes you could get, there was a thing called, I think it was a yellow card, which would mean like on your cell door, you couldn't have cellmates because you were known to like kill them or something like that. And so you would be allowed to live on your own. And so my mate wanted to get a yellow card. He wanted to live on his own, but he didn't want to go the traditional route of being like, I need my own cell because I'm going to kill my fucking cellmates. Because sometimes it can backfire. And instead of giving you a yellow card, they'll send you to Supermax, Supermax prison, which is much worse. So his theory was to say to welfare, I need a yellow card, I need to live on my own because everyone in the yard knows I'm gay. And people keep asking me to suck their dicks.
Yeah.
So the welfare officer said, but Daniel, you're married with 2 kids. And he was like trying to explain that she's a beard and the whole thing's an elaborate ruse.
Yeah.
And he was in the yard telling me this, and he's like, anyway, so I'm doing the voice. And I'm like, hold on, you were doing the voice. And he was like, so he was doing this whole thing with like a very like mincy voice as well. I'm like, okay, at least he never got the gold card, but at least he was trying a different approach.
Everyone knows
the creativity in prison is quite impressive.
It's like the opposite of school. You know, when you got to pretend to be gay.
Everyone thinks I'm gay, and they suck their cocks.
Oh God. Which historical figure would you least like to go on a 5-day cocaine bender with?
Oh God, who's a really bad hang?
Hitler would be intense.
Yeah, because he was also on meth all the time.
He'd get his fucking art out as well. He'd be showing you his art.
He would be on meth all the time.
Yeah, he was already on a bender, wasn't he? I suppose.
I feel like Mandela would be. I think you'd find him interesting for the first hour or two, and then I think it would fade quickly.
Really, you wouldn't swap prison stories.
No,
quite a different route to prison, you and him. I think. You try and get invested in Brooklyn Crispy. Guys, Mandela's in. Order another 4 pizza ovens. The dogs are gonna love it.
No,
Mandela. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
He's someone I was hearing the other day. Like Gandhi. We all sort of, he's the fucking like one of the Apple. It was like, what was it on the Apple thing? It was Gandhi, Ali. That was the sort of Apple immortalized. Not they immortalized themselves, but those images that were like, okay, these are the guys from the 20th century
that shaped the world.
Yes, but then Gandhi, I heard this is actually true, but he used to test himself. Have you heard this?
Oh, it's like a sexual thing,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
He'd
he
lie
like
in
lay with young women or something.
12-year-olds.
Yeah.
And then the next morning go, did anyone here get fucked last night? And they go, no. And you go, I've done it again. Fireworks being let off. Duh, 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 duh.
Yeah.
What a hero. That makes him sound like a perv to me.
Yeah, I mean, you could do that whole thing without having anyone lay near you.
You
and
just
be
not
like,
do
hey,
it.
I
You
didn't.
could just not. I don't get the trick.
Yeah.
He thought it was like a real, like, Evel Knievel stunt to
Yeah.
get through the whole night.
It's an insane, weird flex. You're right.
Yeah.
Because I also didn't do that last night, and I didn't need to find a way to test myself.
It's like there's an award ceremony where you go, all right, this guy's a first responder for 9/11. This guy's found a cure for cancer. And this guy managed to walk through an entire primary school.
Without getting his cock out.
Once.
Thunderous applause.
Yeah. He's on Oprah. How did you do it? It's like, well, look,
I used to
climbing the Himalayas.
I used to do pro bono PR for a pedophile hunter. And he had this theory. He wanted to write a book called The Good Pedophile, which is about the idea that, like...
That's a tough sell, isn't it? You can't read that on the plane. That's an Audible thing, isn't it? Does it come in audiobook, please?
What are you reading? Don't worry. Yeah.
Do you have the hardback? And you got to sign it.
Yeah, you'd rather be caught reading Mein Kampf than that.
Yeah, definitely, man.
So the idea,
just on the all-inclusive holiday on the Sun Lounge, sipping a pina colada through a straw, shades on.
So it was the idea that There are pedophiles out there that have the thoughts.
Yeah, the
but
non-offending ones. Yeah.
They're not offending.
He could have called it something else.
I guess. Yeah,
Dangerous Urges might have been a better book.
Well, yeah, I don't think that's maybe why it never went to print, but.
Yeah, you were doing his PR. Look, the name's not. The name's a work in progress at the moment.
I wasn't doing PR for the book. What I would do is I would alert the media. I would like, he's got another one.
Why? There's a series. No, he's got another pedo.
He's got another pedo. He'd hunted another pedo, and he would like collate information, and then he would bring it. So he used to be a cop, and then he went and worked for his own charity, and he lived in like Southeast Asia. In Thailand, and would like hunt down, and he would hunt down pedophiles on tip-offs and investigate.
Just follow the guy with the bum bag who's on his own, mid-50s, white. Never wrong.
How does he keep doing it?
Swirly eyes, still using a giant map.
They're calling him the Hercule Poirot of Thailand. It's not that
fucking hard, man.
So he caught like Aussie pedophiles that like had like moved to Thailand.
Yeah.
And so we would just tip off the media. And because I spent so much of my life pitching journalists shit stories where they wouldn't be interested, it was just nice to be able to pitch an easy sell.
Yeah.
Do you want to watch him like? Do you want to watch some people tackle a pedophile and arrest him?
Yeah.
And the journalist said, "Yeah, of course I want to. That sounds great.
Fuck.
I'll clear my whole week."
Yeah. This is great.
That's the scoop.
Right, finally, what's your worst habit? I think we've done that. I think we covered that, haven't we?
What are you saying? Was it the cocaine?
Yeah, like all of them, gambling.
Well, I think that now my vices are just like drinking probably and
Yeah.
like.
But you seem well.
I'm so much better now.
You've had 2 pints before the show, you told me.
Yeah.
But you're fine, you're not itching for another drink?
I mean, I'll have another. I'm not itching for it.
There's Baronis in the fridge.
That's fuck.
Yeah.
Well, you should have told me that before the show.
Well, I could have actually. I said you want. I asked you if you wanted a coffee. Could have gotten you a Peroni.
That's okay, mate.
Yeah.
There's still plenty of time in the day. But
Okay.
yeah, I think that I think that's part of the problem is because my vices used to be so fucked up. Now I can like make excuses for like general bad behavior. You know, about like a bad diet.
Oh, you
like
I'm drinking than I was.
Drinking too many beers. I'm like, yeah, but I used to do an ounce of Coke.
Yeah,
I used to gamble 20 grand a week.
Yeah.
So by comparison, I'm great.
Yeah.
You know? So it's still a very low bar.
Andrew. Good for you. But it seems. So what? Finally, what would you? What's your red talk you brought in today?
My TED talk would be about how to become a very good drug dealer.
Yeah.
Or how to run, I wouldn't say successful pizza business, but how
to, yeah.
It all started from pet peeves, right?
Yeah.
So like for me, I couldn't find a good gourmet thin and crispy pizza, but then I also, I feel very strongly about pepperoni pizza.
Why do you feel so strongly?
Because one of my things that annoys me is when you get a slice and it's only got one piece of pepperoni on it. So I told my staff that there had to be a certain amount of pep coverage.
Have you seen Casino? There's got to be an equal amount of blueberries in each muffin. That is you.
That was me. We had to have 23 slices of pepperoni on every pizza.
Really?
Yes.
No wonder you went fucking bankrupt.
Well,
you should do what Domino's do. It's half the cheese is on the side.
It wasn't the pepperoni that I think fucked it. But then also, I have an issue with when you go to a bar that there's never an express queue for like beer drinkers, you know, when it's like a million people ordering cocktails and you wait forever. So like, there's all those kind of little things that I thought I could add to the restaurant, to my restaurant experience.
This is interesting.
Yeah, so there was that, and then also
you have got a point there. You know, when you're like, have you ever been behind someone and they go, "Can I have a coffee?" and it's 10 at night, and you're like, "Go fuck off, go home."
Well, the same when people order 8 espresso margaritas, and then you got to wait for the
martinis.
fuckhead to make that.
Yeah.
Espresso martinis,
espresso
martinis.
Yeah, there'll be like a hen doing in front of you. You literally want 1 pint.
1 pint.
And so you're here on tour. Do you want to promote your socials, stuff like that?
Sure. I mean, the YouTube channel, The OG Crew, comes out every Sunday.
Yeah.
That's pretty fun. And then my socials are Andrew Hamilton Comedy. I mean,
and Andrew does great sketches. I first discovered you as...
Yes, we were admiring each other from afar.
We were, because he was in very much the same game as me, the wellness grift. And he did great fake podcast clips, which are really funny. So check them out, Andrew Hamilton.
It's sad that like almost these days, like some podcasts are really just like there to create they're there for the clip,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the time, if I began another podcast, a lot of the time I'd be just fishing for the clip.
At what
I would
point are people
sacrifice-
going to write the pod?
What?
Do you know what I mean? What point are people going to just write the pod?
Yeah, well, that was what my hustle culture videos are. We just sit in a podcast studio and we don't actually do a pod. It's just we just shoot them.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
it was a comedy.
But if
what
I was
mean
doing
is
a real
people fake.
but if I was doing a real podcast, I would sacrifice all my audience just for one clip to go viral. You know, just for
That's good to know.
start again.
You hear that, people? You're nothing.
Just for 150 million view TikTok.
But no, we'll be in a place where people will start scripting podcasts to make it look like this happened, and then like,
Yeah.
because even today he said, I drank 2 pints. What if I shit myself during the pod? And he was like, oh, and I thought I'd probably get views. But then this is where I'm at. I'm meant to be a comedian. And actually, I'm kind of hoping that a fully grown man shits himself so I get some online traction. How fucking depressing is that? Anyway, Andrew Hamilton, go on, what you going to say?
You'd be briefing some like short form editor to like add some like stink lines to the
Yeah,
video
yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
Dad jokes, guy shits himself.
And I go, and then you get filming it, and it's just like the worst thing ever.
So I'm sorry if this gets demonetized, but you knew what you were signing up for.
Great to have you on, honestly. Thank you so much, mate.
My pleasure,
And you're
mate.
on tour of the UK. You probably would have done it because it's this weekend.
That's fine.
But
I'll
next
come
time
back.
you'll be back.
Yeah, and we're going to start
Great
doing
stand-up comedian.
some-
Read your book as well. Tell them the name.
Yeah, the book is called The Profound Benefits of a Stint in Prison. And for anyone that's interested, we will hopefully be doing some OG Crew live shows as a whole group next year.
My audience are adults, but thank you.
Hey, we've got plenty of adults that have nothing going on in their lives that watch our show.
Yeah. I'm sure. Some good people.
I keep getting DMs from people. I've been at Weatherspoons at the place. People be
Yeah.
like, hey man, I didn't have the courage to say hey to you, but I just saw you at the pub.
Oh, and Weatherspoons.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like our cheapest pub, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but
So,
that's good that you've been spotted there, all the right places.
multiple times.
No, it's good. And all right, well, thank you so much for coming on, mate.
My pleasure, brother.
I'll see you soon.